Here we are. We are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy week. Today, I have a very special guest, a dear friend and colleague, Marie Hodges from Montana, to join me. We are colleagues, we're friends, we share so much in common. I'm so happy to have her joining me. Me in Buenos Aires, Marie in Montana. Marie, would you like to introduce yourself to our people, our friends?
Good morning, Shasang. Yes, my name is Mari Hodges, and I am currently in the United States, in Montana. I go back and forth between Montana and Argentina, teaching Alexander technique. And my studio is called Discoveries in Movement. And my passion is helping people to get moving with their whole self, to free up their movement and to reduce reactivity, stress, and pain. So I'm really excited to be here to talk with you about this today, Xiaosang.
Great. Marie is really a specialist, a pain specialist, and she is me as well. We are very, very dedicated in our work in helping people to overcome pains and sufferings. Marie, pain, it's a PhD, it's a book of 10 volumes. People have spent centuries studying it, discussing it. So how do we define pain in this space? Let's get to the depth and width of it to start with. Right?
And pain has been studied for a long time, and in recent years, there have been a lot of new discoveries about how pain works that are very exciting, that help people have hope to overcome pain. And I think that's so important, that there can be hope to overcome it. So if we're talking about the definition, one of the general definition right now for pain is a physical and emotional experience associated with tissue damage or potential tissue damage. So to put that into English, it's a physical sensation and an emotional experience that can come from damage in the body, or we might just associate it with damage in the body. It's a feeling like damage in the body, not necessarily damage in the body. So that's a really key thing, I think, that we're going to talk about a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Because physical damage we can identify easily, even though the pain can be terrible, excruciating. Yeah. But emotional experience is so wide. Yes. It's so wide, and lots of emotions are old emotions triggered. So we're talking about old emotions, new emotions, and triggers, which are really not real, but from the past. Would you elaborate a bit on that, please?
Well, pain is also I think we want to mention that all pain, first of all, is real.
Very good.
Because a lot of times people who are living with persistent pain will be confronted with this idea that they're making their pain up or they're exaggerating it. And I think we first want to mention that all pain is real, because we're going to be talking a lot about the brain. And when we talk about the brain, there's a tendency for us to think, oh, they're saying that it's in my head. And so I think we want to get that right out there. We're not saying that pain is in someone's head, but the brain does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah. But I like to say, sorry, Marie. I like to say it is in the head. It is.
Yeah. It's in all our heads. It's in everybody's head.
And it's very important to recognize that it is in the head, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Because often, we complain and we suffer, and people around us look, nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. You're nuts. You're crazy. It's like kind of dismissing your pain. Exactly. And that is not very helpful at all. No. Yeah. Because our head is a lot. It's neurons, central nervous system, all the messages coming from there. So it's a big deal, the head. And let's
it
is in the head.
It is in our head. 100% of the time, pain is in the brain, and the brain is the head of the nervous system, and our nervous system is our alarm system. Pain works as an alarm system to warn us of danger. It's not warning us about damage, it's warning us about danger.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference. But yeah, pain can be triggered by all kinds of things. And we can have pain even without any damage at all in the body. And we can have damage in the body and not feel any pain at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So we need to tame this.
Tame it. Yes.
This wicked thing. I'm reluctant to call it pain now. And, I totally agree. I personally, a few years ago, I fell over a tree root, pushing through the street. It's very common here in Buenos Aires. I fell. I kind of broke my knee, broke the skin. It just bled a bit, but I felt excruciating pain for days, and I cried for 2-3 days, and just cried and cried and cried. So much pain. And a friend, intimate friend who was with me at the time, just couldn't understand. And he said, it looks exaggerating because it's a wound, you had some broken skin, and that was it. But he didn't know that 3 years prior to that fall, I broke my leg. I fell, I injured my leg after my husband passed away. And that pain was, I have no words for that. So that fall and the damaging knee triggered my old pain, and the tears were more sadness than loss for the loss. Mm-hmm. But it felt real. It felt so real, and I was not faking it. I'm not somebody who fake.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that pain is real. And there are biological processes, there are biological reasons why that happens too. It's not because someone is weak, it's because our brain works in that way to protect us. Mm-hmm. Our brain draws on all kinds of information to set off that, when that alarm is set off. And that can be information coming from the body, and it can be information coming from our own experience, because we learn. That's how we learn. Our brain takes information from our memories and from the environment and from the things that we hear and see, and even the things that we say and think and believe. Our brain draws on those things.
Yeah. It's a very, very important information. To say the pain actually sets alarm, and its intention is to protect us. It's not an enemy, it's a friend.
Yes. And we want it to work that way. We want that alarm system to work. There are some people born that don't have the ability to feel pain, and they tend to die young because they don't have that protective system. Pain is there to protect us. Mm. But if pain lasts for a long time, it can become overly protective, like an alarm that's set too high, that's set too sensitive. So we have our normal level of sensitivity. We have this electric current going through our nerves at a normal low level. But when our sensitivity is ramped up, it's up at a higher level. So when our nerves fire off danger messages to our brain, which is how the information gets from the body to the brain, it gets set off much more easily because our working level is so much higher when our system is ramped up.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I loved that when we were chatting last week, you brought up the subject as the pain as a stressor.
Yes.
And I think it's so true, and I would love you to talk about that, because it is. Stressor is like 80% of the pain, really.
Yeah. Pain and stress are inextricably related. As I said, we always have some electric current going through our nerves, but when our nervous system gets ramped up in a fight-flight response, the electric current is higher, or it gets set off much more easily. Our nerves become sensitive, and our tissues, our muscles become sensitive. And let's take an example. Let's say you're sitting relaxing in your living room, and suddenly a lion comes bursting through your door. What are you going to do? Now, if suddenly this lion appears, you're going to jump up and run. No, so your muscles are going to become activated, especially those big muscles to either freeze, or to run, or to get out of there, or to push a chair or something, no, to survive. Also, the blood is going to get flowing. Your heart rate's going to go up to get blood and oxygen to those muscles, the muscles that you need, which are those powerful ones that will get you out of there. What you don't need so much are your deeper postural muscles that help with stability. So those are going to kind of go by the wayside. Also, we become more vigilant. Your vision actually gets better, so that you can see if there are any more lions out there. And so we're getting just primed to run and survive. And that's a great response in that kind of situation. When a lion appears, the stress response, the fight-flight response, is for survival, to help us get out of a dangerous situation. But when that becomes prolonged, then we start to have health consequences. And one of those consequences is stress chemicals are flowing through our body, and those can make tissues more sensitive in the first place. So already we have a little bit more sensitivity when we're stressed, so that's normal. So if someone's stressed and they're feeling more pain, that's really normal. And there's a biological reason for that. So if that stress situation continues for a long time, and pain itself is a stressor. Pain is one of the biggest stressors in life. Now, having pain is normal. No, pain is an absolutely normal thing to feel, but living with pain is not normal.
No.
And that's when pain becomes a stressor. And that's like that. It's like that lion being around in the room all the time. The lion never goes away, and we're just always with our system ramped up.
Even in their sleep, even at night. And it's so topical right now, especially this year with COVID, with pandemic, and long going. Argentina were in the 7th month of lockdown. Imagine the stress and anxiety. I have so many clients who come in with pains, chronic pains, just don't understand. They went through all the medical checkups. The results were all fine. Everything was fine, but they are in pain. They are suffering. So the very first thing I work with them is to identify the stressor, the emotional cause, the anxiety. And in real life, the chance of getting a lion jumping into your house or onto your bed is zero, let's say, in our life.
Right.
But that imaginary lion, it's always there. It's always there.
And that lion, it's very real things in our lives too. The stress from job concerns, or family relationships, or financial concerns, or just this experience of having pain. You don't know where it's coming from, and getting all these different answers, or not getting answers from different medical providers. Those are all together, that makes a lion.
And an unknown lion. It's a monster without a face. But nevertheless, a monster there. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. So recognizing the stressor is already the beginning of the end, don't you think?
It takes some of the power away from some of those things that are threats, that our brain is perceiving as a threat. Because pain is an alarm system that gets activated when our brain perceives threat. That threat can be anything.
So that's already like a dosage of painkiller, but without
right there. Yes. By understanding that that's one of the things that's triggering it.
And Marie, why did you dedicate so much in pain, in managing pain, in helping other people? Does it come from a personal story, personal experience?
I suppose that it originally comes from my own personal experience with pain. I lived with persistent pain for many years, going from doctor to doctor, that same kind of thing, trying to find a reason and a solution. I think I went to physical therapy at least once a week for years.
Wow.
And finally realized that in my case, it was something that I was doing to myself. And I discovered that I could stop doing what I was doing to myself. An Alexander technique helped me to discover how to stop doing that. And as I continued to learn over time, it helped me to sustain that change in the way I used the way I coordinated my whole mind, body, self, my thoughts, and the way I used my body, and brought my reactivity down. And that's what changed everything for me. And I developed a fascination for the subject. I did my research project during my teacher training on pain, and that's when it all started back in 2013. And I've been doing studying on my own, and now I'm studying to be a therapeutic pain specialist as well, because I find the subject is fascinating. And my passion is helping people find their way out of that, to find their way out of pain and stress.
Yeah. And I remember last year when you came to visit in Argentina, you had a very stressful time, quite intense days, and your pain flared up. And how do you manage when your pain flared up? It's like, I don't believe in pain cured for good, because we are living being. We do things, we have challenges, and the body sometimes just can't cope. And old pains or new pains come up. So how did you deal with that? And how did you
flare up? Yeah, I think it's first important to understand that flare-ups can happen. And like you said, we'll always have pain in our lives, and that's normal, and that's a good thing. We don't want to get rid of pain entirely, but no, we don't want to live with pain. But when a flare-up happens, I think one of the first things that's important to know is this is going to go away. It's not going to last. I'll get through this. I've got through it before, and I can get through it again. And also knowing how pain works, and it's been shown that knowing how pain works actually reduces pain, because it makes it less of a threat. It makes it less of this unknown, mysterious thing that's happening to me. If I can understand, okay, there are biological processes that are going on here, and it'll run its course, and so that we can make flare-ups shorter, less intense, and get through them more easily. And that's what I've been able to do. And the flare-ups will happen. It'll happen occasionally. But the fear is not as intense. We can get rid of the fear.
And if you have one tool, one resource to offer to our lovely people, one tool, what would it be to manage pain, to prevent pain?
Yeah, there's so many, it's hard to choose one.
No, just one. Not one.
I'd say a great place to start out is finding out how pain works. Because when we know how it works, it takes away the fear, it takes away the unknown. And when we realize that there's a biological process that's leading to that, and that can also help us to overcome it, then it helps us to have hope that this is not going to be forever. I can reduce pain myself. There is a way that we can reduce pain. I think that's so important.
Yeah, it's to empower ourselves with our, to connect with our inner healer, and that's very much my theme of working, of coaching, of teaching, is connect with your inner healer. But obviously there's a way to connect, and we all have an inner guru, inner healer, inner doctor within us. The way we need to learn how to connect with it. Perhaps we will talk about it in part 2 next Monday. So it's another episode. It's a very beautiful one, and I'm passionate about it. And I offer one tool is when I have pain, I immediately stop what I'm doing, when I'm working or cooking or washing up, whatever I'm doing, I drop that and I lie down. I lie down on the floor. I put my legs up. I tell my pain that I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't worry. Let me know. Tell me what's going on, what's happening, and let's sort it out together. And I lie down for sometimes up to an hour, depending on the degree of the pain. Sometimes only 10 minutes. And for sure, 100% the pain always reduces. Always reduces. But obviously, I realize I'm talking about minor pains, minor to medium back pains, headache, or chest, or kind of medium. I'm not talking about cancer and fibromyalgia and those severe symptoms. We will deal with that next week, in particular those subject matters. Anything you would like to add on, Marie, before we wrap up for today?
I agree with you that I find that really helpful too, to do a lie down and to just stop, to give myself an opportunity to just stop. Because a lot of times we're taking around tensions, we're carrying them around with ourselves, continuing to do all the things that we've been doing. Just giving ourselves a chance to stop and reset and stop all that activity, I think, can be very helpful to calm down the nervous system.
Yeah. It's to kind of to switch off the reaction volume, because the moment the pain flares up, we react emotionally.
Yes, we do. We react emotionally to that too. Yeah.
Don't stop. If we still carry on whatever we are doing, we are going to react and react. We are multiplying the reaction and
compounding the pain.
Pain. So to stop and to lie down is to switch that reactor off.
To turn it down.
I know. But okay, thank you for telling me. Great. I think we'll stop here today. Next Monday, same time, we are going to carry on with part 2. And you can find Marie's information in her Facebook page under Marie Hodges. And she has her, what do you call, movement, freedom?
Discoveries in Movement.
Discoveries in Movement. And my Facebook healing page is called Connecting with the Inner Healer and Xiao Song's healing group. I believe we are going live there. Have a beautiful week and much love. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you, Xiao Song. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.